experience that's different and you can never find in any other temple on earth. Even coming here dozens of times won't feel enough because of its indescribable beauty. Never change.
Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. VOA listeners and viewers, in this global uncertainty, we need certainty, we need stability. And this precious metal has proven its resilience as a safe haven asset. What we are talking about is gold. How is the wise way to invest in gold, especially in this recent rising gold price? Let's dive deeper into it on today's VOI Talk with Likuina Hananto as the CEO and lead financial trainer, QM Financial. Hello, Ms. Likuina. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, it's a pleasure. Nice to talk to you again.
Yes, pleasure is ours to have you again here on VOI Talk. And right now we're talking specifically about gold investments. So according to you, why gold is a perfect investment, Ms. Likuina?
I never say it's a perfect investment. That's your word, not mine. To be honest, there's no such thing as a perfect investment. There's no such thing as a perfect person, let alone a product of investment. So I think as investors, we all need to be cautious and always have a grain of salt when we're discussing about investment product. We don't need to be loyal to a product. It's not our place to be loyal. If you think it's good for you, and then you need to understand the risk involved and how the return is made. But if you are not comfortable with it, you can go away with it. So no, there's no such thing as a perfect investment. That's not my word.
Okay, revised and highlighted. And when it comes to the current rising price of gold price, what actually makes the gold price rise?
A lot of people seem to be on the wagon of the hype of how gold keeps increasing. We're forgetting that back in 2014, all the way to 2019, gold was almost flat. It was rising a little bit, but barely. It was a very small percentage. I remember it took about 5 years for it to finally increase in 2020. And we know what happened in 2020. It's the pandemic, right? So yes. Gold is perceived as the safe haven. During a time of crisis, it's the one commodity that large institutions and people would like to hold on to because of the perceived value. So whenever gold is increasing significantly, as in the current days, people are perceiving the world is not okay. We can see the spike increase during the pandemic. We saw the spike increase during the Trump administration got elected. We see the price increase whenever Israel is seemed to be having a beef with Iran and Iran was going to strike back. So when people are not believing the world is in good shape, gold is increasing. So we shouldn't be too happy when gold is at all-time high.
What is the exact impact of it?
The exact impact of it is, it means generally, of course, we're not talking about a census or anything. The world public is not comfortable, is having afraid and fear that is consuming more of the discussion in everyday life. And it's similar throughout the world. It's not just in our country, but anywhere else in the whole world. Interestingly is the investors for gold, at least in Indonesia, I notice, you notice how the stock market is a roller coaster in the last week. And the stock investors are very chatty about it when it goes up and when it goes down, but not with gold investors. Gold investors are very sort of reserved and calm. When it goes up, they're calm, and when it goes down, they're also very calm.
Okay.
People tend to hold on to their gold and don't trade it as much. I've had so many people ask me in the last few weeks, should I sell my gold? And after the price went up, I asked them, did you sell it? And they'd say, no, I don't. They prefer to keep it. So the impact is higher value, but interestingly, not necessarily enough push for people to sell.
Okay, so what about buying gold?
Buying gold, okay, the principle of any trade, I'm not saying investing, any trade, any kind of profit taking activity will require you to buy a commodity in lower price and sell it at the higher price. This is something that everybody should understand, okay? So in terms of gold, if you want to trade or take profit, you need to be able to buy it at a lower price and sell it at a higher price. What's so interestingly is a lot of people are going into their FOMO stage, fear of missing out. So when everybody's talking, gold is going up, people start to buy. That doesn't make any sense. Logically, when it's high, you sell, right? But not with gold investors. Investors, when the prices are high, they will tend to still keep their gold. So those who bought the gold in all-time high at 3.2 million, 3.3 million, is right now facing the reality that gold has plummeted a little bit. Now, I think yesterday the price was in rupiah 3,027,000, which is lower than the day before, which basically confirms that the price is volatile and gold is not something you need to invest in for short-term period. It's still a high-risk commodity or investment product to enter. You need to understand risk involved, which, by the way, is the price.
So this is the right moment to invest in gold.
If you want short profit taking, no.
Sure.
But here's the thing. For me, investing is not about short profit taking. For a lot of people, I think investing should be dealt with as accumulation of wealth. So if you're in a growing stage, you need to keep investing in a certain product that is growing. And gold is one of them. But you can choose when you want to enter. There's a strategy called cost averaging, which means you buy regularly every month. This is for everyday people, okay? I'm a financial trainer dealing with individual investors, educating people on how to behave with their money. I'm not a market analyst, and I'm also not an investment banker or someone who deals with a large sum of money from large institution. I'm dealing with everyday people. So if you're one of the retail investors, what you need to consider is what is your financial goal, and you want to be able to invest in product that is accumulating and help you to grow your wealth. And there are only 5 products that we can deal with to be able to do that. And gold is one of them. However, you need to understand there's a strategy called cost averaging, which allows you to enter a product, purchase a product, invest in a product regularly every month or according to your income. And you need to be able to buy regularly. And therefore, when it's low time, you keep buying. And when it's high time, you keep buying to be able to get an average price. So I'm not saying buy now when it's high. I'm saying you need to keep buying regularly. And if you think it's too high, don't enter. But please make sure that the money that you set aside for investment is not spent elsewhere. So make sure you know what your financial goal is and your choice of accumulating investment product. And gold is just one of them. There are other products involved.
Okay. And what about the risk that people need to know in investing in gold?
First of all, gold is a commodity, which means if you hold on to the physical aspect of gold, there's always a risk of losing it. There's always a risk of it being a counterfeit. There are counterfeit golds out there, so you need to be careful. Second of all is the market price. Prices can go up and go down. There's a spread involved. When you buy and when you sell gold, there's a spread. and different store, different vendor will give you a different price. So you need to be careful with that. But last but not least is nowadays a lot of people invest in digital gold. There's been a case in China when a lot of platforms had to close down in China. Digital gold platform in China closed down because when the price of gold increased, a lot of people in China wanted to rush the platform and take up their gold. Any institution will be in trouble when a rush is coming in. I don't see that happening in Indonesia yet, but that's a risk. So if you're holding your gold in physical, there's a risk. But if you're holding it in digital form, there's also a risk involved. Be careful what you're doing, and therefore, with this kind of risk, make sure you diversify. Don't put all your money in gold. Put it elsewhere as well.
Okay, diversification, that's one of the keys. And what about silver and platinum market? Is it good as well to make as an investment?
If you are a trader, meaning that you are someone who is an affluent person who actively wants to take profit from all your transactions, I would have to say yes, it's a commodity that is high demand and limited supply. So the logic is when it's high demand and limited supply, price will increase. However, the market in any commodity will always find a new price equilibrium. So when the price is deemed to be perceived to be too high, it will go down. And that's what's happening in the last 2 days. And therefore, if you're just a retail investor trying to speculate with prices, I don't think people should go in. You're going to end up burning yourself. But you are an affluent trader, you understand your market, you follow all the prices, and you do have a deep pocket to chip into it, then by all means you can do it.
Okay, and now back talking about gold. To what extent is Indonesian public people interested in investing in gold, physical, digital one, and maybe you also would like to explain each type of gold, including investing in golden jewelry as well?
Yes, there are three types of gold investment. The first one is the physical one, the very popular Antam series with certificate, and it's at the moment high demand, and I would say in some places become rare. It's not easy to get access to. The second one is the digital version, which is a lot easier for people to access, and the amount can be as small as you can because it's digital. You don't need to get the physical gold. The third one is jewelry. Depending on how you want to invest, if this is for investment purpose, the physical gold is still would be a priority for a lot of people. I'm not saying that's the best case scenario, but the spread is better when it's a larger number, larger amount, larger gram for 10 grams, 25 grams, 50 grams. But with the current price, it becomes very expensive and may not be affordable for everyday people. Bear in mind that when you are trying to invest in gold bars in Java, it will be a different market than when you want to purchase or sell in Sulawesi, for example. So because it's a commodity, the market dictates very differently in different cities and different islands. In other islands, the gold demand is different and perceived is also different. So nowadays, people, I think, have branched out not just with Antam, but with other vendors. So not just the gold physical of Antam, but other brands as well. You can choose which one you want, but do please take a look at the spread. So the spread will be different if you buy at Pegadaian. The spread will be different if you sell at Toko Emas in Block M, for example. So you need to research your own price.
Okay.
With digital, as I mentioned, I would like people to be cautious because any institution, no matter how big, they will suffer if there's a large number of people rushing in to try to get their gold bar. I think a lot of people have now tell me that I don't invest in digital gold. By the way, I am holding on to my physical gold at the moment. But there are people who are investing in digital gold, and when they do, and they try to get the physical gold of it, of their digital ones, they are put into waiting lists. This is reality that's happening right now in the market. So be aware of this kind of market conditions. The last one is jewelry. The price of jewelry is a little bit different with the gold bars. So this is not something in high priority as an investment. But if you are enjoying wearing gold jewelry and you just want to keep some for your children in the future, it's still better than not having anything. So I'm not saying old school way of thinking, let me just put my money aside becomes gold is bad. No, this is still very good because that means you can put some money aside. Because the worst thing would be if your money just goes down the drain. So it's not a priority for investing if you compare to gold bars or to the digital part version. But if you're old school and you still want to keep gold jewelry, by all means do that. It's better than fake jewelry.
Okay, but the value of gold jewelry will decrease if we wear it instead of just keeping it.
No, that's not it.
No.
The
Oh,
gold,
okay.
the jewelry store does not know whether you wear it or not. So the price will still decrease whether you wear it or not. But if the price of gold increase, then the jewelry price will also increase. The difference is when you sell it, it will not be higher than the value when you the price that you bought it with. So the spread is not the way with the gold bar. But if the general price of gold increase, the jewelry you bought 10 years ago will still increase. So with jewelry, they keep saying there's a 10%. They keep saying there's a 10% decrease in value because you cannot keep the price the same because fashion changes all the time. But the reality is, again, rather than not spending it on anything, then if you think that's the one thing you understand, go ahead. It's not a priority as an investment product, but it's still money stashed away. It still has value. Okay, here's something that I want everybody to understand. If a group of people, I mean a large group of people in the whole world believe one commodity has value, then it will still have value. And at the moment, gold is perceived as high value by the entire world, including central banks of a lot of large countries.
Wow.
That's why the price also keeping.
Okay. So, in short, what tips would you like to share with those, especially the first-time buyers who want to invest in gold?
First-time buyers need to understand that the gold price do decrease. It was 3.3 million last week, and yesterday was 3,027,000, which means it decreases by 10% in a week. Are you ready for this kind of volatility? And therefore, if you wish to invest in gold, make sure you have a financial goal with a specific target. For example, children education fund or Hajj fund, which is in the medium range of timeline. For example, 5 to 10 years. I would avoid investing in gold for 3 months. I would avoid investing in gold for 2 days. You know, it's not worth the risk. It's not worth the hassle. But if you do want, it needs to be between 5 to 10 years. And make sure you understand where you're investing, whether it's for gold bar, whether it's a digital version, or whether it's jewelry. I have to mention that jewelry is not for investing, it's just for keeping, for safekeeping, because you want your money to go into something valuable, something tradable, okay? It's valuable and tradable. Last but not least, if your financial goal is too short of a timeline, say within a year, you may have to convert your gold into something less risky, because let's face it, gold that are older version in the market, when you want to sell it, the price will be different. So I happen to know those who have gold since the year 2000. the shape of that gold in year 2000 is totally different than the shape of gold that we have today. So if we bring it to, say, a gold store in the market, they will not be able to honor the value of that gold from year 2000 similar to today's, because they cannot sell it to people. People will still want current gold bars instead of old gold bars. Please understand the difference. Theoretically, it's the same gold, right? Theoretically, there's no decrease of value, but there's no one in the market is willing to buy a gold that is not standardized to 2026, for example. So be aware, it's a commodity. Commodity will increase in price and will decrease in price according to demand and supply. And you're just a tiny little retail investor, while there's a Central Bank of China buying gold every month. So we don't want to be swept away in the tsunami of the price volatility.
Okay, so set the goal first, the timeline, and decide which one to invest.
Yes.
Okay, so quote of the day: silence is golden. But to reach a
That's
golden...
the investors. The gold
Yeah.
investors are silent. So we can say silent is golden because the gold investors are mostly silent. They don't rush or protest over the price. They're just happy holding on to their gold.
Okay, Ms. Liguina Hananto, thank you so much for sharing on today's Voitalk, the worth of gold. Let's reach a golden life by not being silent. We cannot stand still. Let's invest, especially one of them in gold. Thank you so much. Have a good
My
day.
pleasure. Good morning.
Well, listener, that's today's Voitalk with Liguina Hananto as the CEO and lead financial trainer, QM Financial. Stay tuned for more insightful talks on Voitalk from Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.
Voice of Indonesia.